Hi, I'm Jess of Cottage Laine, and welcome to I'll Quilt If I Want to, my new weekly YouTube series. I'm so excited to help you boost your confidence in piecing and quilting and let you know that it's okay to break the rules. So today we're going to be learning something that we are going to be building up to. Today is 4 at a time half square triangles, which, if you can see my sweatshirt, we have half square triangles in the center and on the outside of this block. This block is a part of a collab that I'm in called the Spring Tide Sampler. It is 11 designers who came together to create a quilt for you to join us in putting together. And it starts February 10th. I will leave the link to sign up in the bio, or the description below. But this is my block. It comes out the 17th of February, and I'm hoping to give you all of the tips and tricks on how to piece it and get you ready for February 17th when it comes out. So we will get you onto the cutting mat so you can follow along, and I'm excited. Okay, here we are. So you need 2 squares to do 4 at a time half square triangles. For this video, we are going to use 2 5.5 by 5.5 inch squares. And what you're going to do is lay them on top of each other. And you're going to want to mark from corner to corner and from corner to corner. So I used my ruler and a Hera marker, so I wasn't physically marking on it, but you could also use a water-soluble marker if you prefer. But you can see that it left a pretty good mark on it. So what you're going to do is take your pins, and I like to pin in the center just to kind of hold it together, but you don't have to. There are no rules here. Just put pins around. And then what we are going to do is take this to our sewing machine, and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch all around the square. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back here. Okay, so I have sewn all around my square a 1/4 inch, and I forgot to change my thread for this. There you go. Okay, I forgot to change my thread. I'm working on my second quilt pattern, and here's a hint, it uses blue thread. But what I like to do now is just give the block a good press on where the stitches are to help everything relax for the next step, which is trimming it. Okay, would you believe me if I told you that the hard part is like already over? All you have to do now is trim and press it. So I'm going to line my ruler up with the lines that we marked earlier. You can also, if you want to skip the marking, which I do often, just mark it up with the corner of your stitching down here and up here. And you're gonna wanna cut on that line. And then you're going to want to rotate your ruler, line it back up. And cut again. And then now you are left with 4 half square triangles. So let's go back over to the cutting mat or the pressing mat, and we will iron them. Okay, so here we are. We have our square that has been cut, and I'm going to start with one of them. I always like to press the seams because it kind of squishes all of the threads into the fabric and helps. So I like to press everything open. I find that it makes everything lie really flat and nice. And if I'm not trying to match up any points, I press it open. So give it a little press. And then I'm gonna share my biggest tip with you on how to get everything to lay really nice, and it is flatter. I recently discovered it and I use it for everything. So just give it a quick spray. I like to kind of iron the excess off and then right over the seam. And I just let it sit, dry, and then everything lays really nice and flat. And there you go. So I'm going to press the others and then we will go back over to the cutting mat and we will trim. Okay, so I just realized that it would be so much easier to move my mat and my pressing mat than to keep setting the camera up. So bear with me, I promise I will get the hang of this and it will go more smoothly. So we have our half square triangle and we need to trim it now. So I have this Omni Grip 3.5 inch ruler, and it's actually the exact size that we are going to trim our half square triangles to. So I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so you can see that little hair off of there. Okay, so you're going to line this line up with your seam. Like that. And then you're just going to trim the excess away. And yes, I'm going to flip it and trim this other side because there's no way I'm going to cut myself by cutting towards me. I'm very safe in that regard. Okay, so here is our perfectly trimmed half square triangle. And you can do that to the others and be able to add them into the block. So I hope that was helpful in explaining how to piece these and to trim them. And I hope it's not as scary as maybe you thought that it was. Hi, so again, I hope that was really easy and helpful for you. And I wanted to show you on this block that I'm wearing where the half square triangle would go. So one could go here, and they also go in the center, right there. So you have one piece to this block done. And now whenever the pattern comes out, you will be on it. So I hope you join me next week. I'm so excited to be back. We are going to learn 4 at a time flying geese. And it's easy, fun, and you can do it. So I will see you here next week. Bye.